Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. Today, another special guest drove all the way from the state of Idaho. We have a former female correctional officer from the Idaho Department of Corrections by the name of Tasha. What up?
Hector Bravo, unhinged. Chaos is now in session.
Hey.
Thanks for making that long. How many hours?
It was 13 hours.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
And you said, I don't want to say what you said, but you're like, hey, I believe in what you do.
Yes. I drove down because I've been following you for a little bit.
Okay.
And I believe exactly what you've been saying, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we're going to dive into that because let me ask you off the top, have you noticed similarities between the departments?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Gosh, in my place, probably a bad thing.
Correct. So what attracted you to the job?
So I started with the department because I really wanted to be a law enforcement officer.
Okay.
That was kind of my leeway before jumping straight onto patrol in the streets. And I felt like it would be beneficial learning kind of how inmates act, and it's why I started. I wanted also to honestly help people. So
in Idaho, is that a path that people can take and normally take, corrections to the patrol?
yes. Quite a few actually do it. They start within the Department of Corrections and then do about 2 years. They have the ability to do probation and parole, but most end up going into patrolling. So,
Idaho. I get Idaho mixed up with Iowa,
There's a lot of
Ohio, but I hear what you're saying, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not originally from there.
No, I'm originally from Washington State. I grew up in the Evergreen State, so
A lot of rain.
a lot of rain. Yeah, and really hot summers.
Hot summers?
Yes.
How hot?
Well, not Arizona hot,
Okay,
but
because that's kind of what I'm used to, 120, and it sucks.
no. I think probably the highest I've ever encountered was like 110.
That's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
And how long were you in Idaho before you started working for the Department of Corrections?
I moved here back in 2020. So it was about 3 years before I jumped into corrections.
Wait a minute. So you new state, new job?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What was the driving force behind that? Law enforcement, or like was it money? Was it incentives?
Oh, well, there's a lot of, I went through a divorce. So I kind of knew that I needed to jump back into the workforce. Okay. But since I want to say middle school, whenever we did our work.
Career day.
Yeah, career day. An officer had come and kind of spoke, and it's always been my passion. So all through high school, I just didn't jump onto the bandwagon.
Up until that point, what have you had you known, if anything, from like movies or documentaries, or it was just a roll of a dice for you?
Honestly, it was a roll of a dice. I knew there was going to be highs and lows. I knew that, good days and bad days, but there wasn't the same thing happens every day. So I knew there was going to be, I knew it was going to be hectic. So.
Do you know approximately how many prisons are in Idaho?
We have CRCs. So those are your reentry centers. And I know just the past year, more were approved in the making. So I couldn't tell you at the top of my head how many there are, but there are at least 3 big facilities.
And once you become a correctional officer, are you able to transfer to any institution? What up, Warriors? Pleased to announce a new clothing line that I have just dropped, Unhinged Supply. I'll be rolling stuff out in limited drops, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you go to the website, HectorBravoShow.com, and pick up the latest gear. Love you. Keep pushing forward.
Yes.
So you are.
Yep.
So similar to California.
Yep.
And it's post-certified, you mentioned?
Yes.
So peace officers sworn in,
Yes.
because I'm pretty sure not all states are sworn
Yep.
peace officers.
Yep.
But Idaho is.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of perks with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get the peace officer powers.
Yep.
And I'm sure the bump up in pay is different than not being sworn.
So, yep. Very much.
So you went to an academy.
Yes.
What was that like?
Gosh, it was a lot of slideshows. So
That's horrible.
So not too much hands-on. We had our, Archon days, and those were like 2 to 3 days, and then we did scenarios. So kind of what would happen at the prison. So we role played those.
Yeah.
But not too much hands-on.
What did the facility look like? Was it like a college campus, like a prison?
So I was the first class in the new building. So very much, it was like a classroom. And then we had like a gym area.
Okay.
For the Archon days.
Who were the instructors? Like peace officers, like guards?
No.
What do you mean?
They were, well, actually, a few of them are, but the ones that specifically did Archon were mainly just Archon instructors and firearm instructors.
What does Archon stand for? Is it like what is that referring to? Is that like the hand-to-hand combat or like
Yes.
reality-based riot control?
It's the
Combatives?
hand-in-hand. Yes.
Oh, it's combatives.
It's combatives, yep.
Yeah, so that would make sense that the instructors would have that background.
Yep. And then there are sergeants that were a part of the training as well.
Was there a lot of cadet students in the classroom?
My class was about 25.
That's fairly small.
Yeah, they max at about 25 to, I think, 32 maybe.
Is the Department of Corrections in Idaho something that's like always hiring? Or they always have a need for officers?
Yes.
Why? Is it a high turnaround rate or is it just expanding?
I want to say it's a high turnover rate. They can't keep them.
They can't keep them?
They can't keep them.
And before we jump forward, right off the top of your head, looking back in hindsight, what is the reason they can't keep them? Keeping it real.
I really want to say that it's based off of accountability, and you've got like the Good Boys Club, and if you're not part of that,
It's funny
you're
how that
going to be
works.
used.
You're going to be used? Like a pawn?
Very much.
Or like a puppet? Or both?
Both.
So you're here at this academy. What is the length of this academy?
It's about a month. You do about
month, huh?
3 weeks of in classroom, and then you do about a week worth of Archon.
And what kind of stuff are you learning academically? Like laws?
Some of the laws. And then the other ones are basically policies. And obviously PREA is a big one. Yep, those are about the big ones.
Well, for those that are watching and don't know what PREA is, Prison Rape Elimination Act, and considering it's a federal act, yeah, it would make sense that it would also be in Idaho. Dude, I had a good question right now before you said a PREA. What year did you go?
To the academy?
Yeah.
It was back in 24.
Okay, so 24. So I know you, reading some of your notes, you were like, hey, some of these like progressive changes and change in culture, similar to California.
Yes.
Were they also trying to push an agenda? To be like, you said hug a thug mentality.
Yes, hug a thug.
Did that start at the academy?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
Yes. And I want to say it was probably like right up until I started. So maybe a couple months prior to starting, and this was back in 23. I joined in August.
Right, yeah.
So they were into the pro-social. And
What is that?
that is, it's basically like I'm your best friend, but in a professional manner. So
Pro-social.
pro-social is what they called it.
Is it short for something like professional social work or some bullshit like that?
Yes, but yeah, that's what I would sum it up as.
Okay, because, you know, when these assholes, excuse my language, at the top, they come up with shenanigans, right? And then they come up with these stupid names like incarcerated persons and this pro-social was a terminology being used in Idaho?
Yes, we went from obviously inmates or residents, but the most recent is resident. We have to call them residents.
Now, realistically, it's not that we look down upon inmates or that we want them to suffer or have consequence, but we're realists, right? It's like, hey, this place is out of control because you made it out of control, and simply changing some terms around is not going to solve anything.
Right.
In case people aren't grasping, you know, like, hey, these people just want to watch the inmates suffer. That's not the reality of things.
Right.
So as you're being told to, what are you being told? That these inmates are in here for victims or they're going through mental health struggles. You need to understand what they're going through.
No, it is obviously they committed a crime.
Okay.
So that I agreed with. But we need to treat them with respect.
Well, that's fair.
Which is very fair.
Yeah.
But it is like very much like try and be personal in a sense with them.
That's a problem.
Yep. Very much.
Because there's a clear line in the sand, or there should be a clear line between officer and inmate.
Oh, 100%.
And we saw here in California what happens when you blur that line.
Yeah.
Do you recall what your peers, were they enjoying what they were being taught, or were they like, oh, this is bullshit? Or you were too new to understand what was about to happen?
Oh, no, I knew like my second week.
What did you know?
How unorganized it was. How poorly ran it was. Definitely an agenda.
What were some things that were like what, scheduling issues, hiring issues?
Very much. Scheduling was throughout my 2 years was an issue.
Give me some examples.
I mean, like within our post orders, you're supposed to have probably about 3 to 4 in a GP unit.
Okay.
Officers on floor. And there would be 2. One would be running the bubble. So anytime you had emergencies, you'd lose one. And then there would be situations where there's like double emergencies. And then, I mean, I'm a female, so yes, I got respect, but I mean, I'm gambling with my life.
100%. 100%. So you graduate at what is a facility? Would you mind saying what facility? What does this look like, this prison?
So I graduated and I requested because I felt more safe at the maximum facility where they were behind doors. But within this facility, aside from like your GP unit, they're out a few times a day. All the other all other units are out 1 hour. So you're housed in your cell for 23 hours a day.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Was this prison that you requested, was that closest to your residence, or did you have to move? Did you relocate for the job at all?
No, I didn't relocate. I mean, from like my location, it was probably about 30 minutes to get there.
Okay.
So, but I didn't relocate.
How many staff members would you say are assigned to that institution?
There's about 3 in every unit. We have 4 to 5 units. So about 20. But I'd say maybe 12.
And 24/7 operations?
Yeah.
That makes it almost seems like a skeleton crew.
100%.
How many inmates per prison like that? That prison.
So we have medium custody, which is like the yard. They have way more staff. That's obviously more of your, you're out all the time. You got chow time and all of that. So, I don't know how many would be scheduled on their shift, but like in my facility, the ratio is, I mean, we were always at like 500 inmates.
Okay.
So you had about 115. Obviously, GP unit, it would be more in a unit.
Now these inmates, what are the ranges of crimes that they're in there for?
Some petty, some drug related.
Petty, like what? Like shoplifting? Or
Yes. Yes. Some kind of fraud, all the way up to murder.
Murder.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those guys would you say there are? The reason I'm asking, I'm trying to compare, I'm trying to see how California and Idaho differ or relate.
I would say there's a lot.
There's a lot of murderers in Idaho?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I couldn't even give you a number. I know specifically the unit that I was posted at, I had like 8.
And
Specifically like on death row.
And are you as an employee able to view what they're in for and maybe even their police report?
Yes.
How?
Through our system.
Through a computer system?
Yep, through a computer system.
And is a computer system at your desk at the location?
Yes.
Or do you have to go to like a place, like an office?
No. So with our facility, we have a bubble. That is where all the staff get to hang out at. It's not open dorm. So
is there a gun in the bubble?
No.
Is the bubble elevated or floor level?
Elevated.
Is it a secured bubble?
Yes.
No inmates are allowed in the bubble.
Inmates. No.
In the history of Idaho prisons, has there ever accidentally let an inmate in the bubble?
Yes.
It's funny how all of this works. During the time you were there, or like folk tales or like legends that you've heard?
Before I was there.
Is that a huge security protocol?
I want to say yes.
And what do? You tell them, hey, get the hell out? Because, I mean, in California, that would become a deadly situation because you have guns up there. What would an inmate in an Idaho bubble be capable of doing? Opening and closing doors?
Yes. Yeah, exactly that. Or assault.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. Nope.
So, did you ever look up inmates' crimes?
Yes.
Is there anything particular that stands out to you where you're just like, oh my God?
You know, honestly, that's a hard question to answer, but honestly, no. Nothing really stood out to me. I felt they were all similar.
Similar like how?
Same kind of characteristics, maybe same kind of upbringing, maybe different upbringings. But it was like one way and then there was another way. So you could have an inmate that had a normal life that just chose a bad path.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the opposite side of not a great upbringing, didn't have parents around, and they chose that path.
Right.
You know. So I wouldn't say there was anything in particular that stood out. To me, it read pretty close to similar.
And I bring that up because, again, like I can only go off of my experience, right? So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, how does Idaho work?
Yeah.
And there was an inmate in California in a psych ward. He ended up killing a nurse there at the psych ward and then stuffing duck poop down her throat. I guess there was like ducks around, so he was putting them. They found. So I'm like, did you ever read anything where like, oh, fuck, that'll stick with you, and you recall that? Or are these people just offing other gang members, or who are they killing?
Gang members.
So there's gangs in Idaho.
100%.
What kind of gangs?
You have your Norteños, you have your Sureños.
There's no way.
We have Sureños.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's who's in the prisons?
Yes.
I'm assuming, I mean, you're telling me Idaho, I'm thinking like just white guys.
We have our AKs.
What are AKs?
Area Knights.
Area Knights.
Yep.
Yeah, in my head, you see, I thought all of Idaho was white inmates.
I want to say the population's more Sureños.
Mexican,
Yep.
Hispanic.
Yep.
How do these Sureños function? Do they try to emulate California? Are they doing their own thing? Do they have rules? Do they have shot callers?
They have rules, and they do have shot callers.
How do those rules function? Like, what do they leave the staff alone? Are they respectful?
So I want to say they leave staff alone for the most part, unless they have someone who's being jumped in, which then they obviously have to conduct their assault on staff.
Run that by me again. What do you mean by that? An initiation to get into the Sureño gang prison
Yes.
in in an Idaho prison is to assault staff?
Yes.
Well, that's very upsetting to hear.
Yeah.
Is there any repercussion for an inmate assaulting staff in Idaho?
Oh, depends on if that staff member wants to press charges.
Well, not really what I was referring to.
In terms of,
Is that inmate going to regret putting hands on a cop, or he's not going to regret it?
no,
He's not?
no,
Oh, hell no. Okay.
no,
I mean, I'm not here to say we're here to teach lessons, but
No.
that is one lesson you learn the hard way.
yeah. And I do want to say that it's more geared towards like male officers.
Of course. I mean, I would hope so. I'm
Yeah.
hoping they're not putting hands on female
No.
staff members.
Nope.
Are there assaults on female staff members at that institution?
Yes.
And is that usually like, are the women disrespecting, or are these inmates out of control, or what usually stems, or does it vary?
I want to say a little bit of both. So sometimes intoxication can lead to that, and disrespect.
How do they get intoxicated?
Oh, they make their own.
Did you ever come across that?
Yeah.
And where did they put it?
Bottles. In a container. I mean, they hide it. Toilet. So, yep.
What do their cells look like? 2 men per cell, or is it numerous?
So it depends on the unit. Our GP unit has 2 per cell. We have a unit called the C block, which is your acute mental health unit. On your first tier, it's a 2 cell, 2 per cell. And then the other tiers, so 2 and 3, are your single. In the unit that I was posted at, your GP unit, your GP tier, which is your first tier, was a 2 per 1 cell. And then tiers 2 and 3. Tier 2 is your death row, and Tier 3 is like you're in the hole.
There's a mental health portion of the prison?
Yes, there is.
Now, I know you're not a psychologist, but if you had to make an assessment, would you say they're crazy or bullshitting?
If I had to make an assessment, I would say that there are a good amount of mental health.
Really? Wow. Because I'm here in California, it's all the whole thing. It's like a sham. It's a fraud.
Yeah.
They manipulate the system.
Yes.
Probably maybe a good 75% are faking it.
Yeah. I
80.
do see that. I do see that in like a couple of the units. But a lot of them are mentally ill.
Wow, that's freaking nuts.
Yeah.
And what does that unit consist of? They get medication.
Yes.
Do they get like special privileges, classes,
They
groups?
So with that unit, they do get more incentives. Basically, they have a chart, and within that chart, it kind of puts them on a certain level of what they get to have. When I started, they were able to have like coffee. And that was one of their like biggest incentives is if I obviously keep up with my hygiene, maintain my cell in like a good condition,
Yeah.
they were able to.
Do they self-mutilate that you know of?
Yes.
They do?
Yeah.
Any suicide attempts or suicide that you came across?
Yes.
What was that like?
There's a lot of them that attempt, mainly just by hanging. There's been a few in my unit that will cut themselves completely open and bleed out, and your cell is covered in blood.
Where do they cut? Their wrist?
Their wrists, their stomach.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yep. We had a couple that were your transition.
Hold on. Transgenders?
Yes.
What portion were they? They were a man?
Yes.
They were a man.
Yes.
And what were they doing that was about to happen? I mean, were they just were they saying, "Hey," they were going to cut it off?
Yep.
And then what happens once they get to cut off? They have to go to a women's institution?
No.
Or they stay at a men's institution?
They stay in a men's institution. There's been a few times with a couple of them that will try and attempt to cut it off,
Right.
and then hospital and then sent back.
Oh, fuck.
Yep.
How many of those? Like a lot or just like a handful?
There's a handful. I'd say probably a good maybe 8 that I know of within my facility that I was
Within your
posted at.
facility?
Mm-hmm.
And were they like popular amongst the guards? Like, oh, hey, inmate Sally is up to her bullshit again, chopped off her weenie again. Or is it kind of just like whatever?
They were popular.
They were popular?
Yeah.
Oh, another question. Were they popular amongst the inmates?
No.
What do you mean?
Except for maybe your men that swing that way.
Correct.
But
Oh, they fucking love them here.
yeah.
I mean, they'll cry over them. They'll make out with them on the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Leave them hickeys. They love them.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see, like, I didn't see much of that unless I was in your C block unit.
C block.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
again, I have no idea. I'm asking you to walk me through it. Show me how fucked up that place is. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so C block is wild?
Yeah. I would say there's more of transgender in that unit than any other unit.
And what kind of things happen in that unit? Fights?
It's a lot. Fights are one of them. There's one that went up on like the rec cages, hung out there, didn't want to come down.
What do the rec cages look like?
They are your mesh, normal.
Like a dog kennel?
Yeah.
So like the California dog kennel yards.
Yes.
And then somehow, some way, this dude got up on top?
Yep. Yes.
How? Aren't they supposed to be escorted by an officer?
No, not in that unit.
So how does it work in that unit?
So in C block, your tier 1, which is your GP unit, they get escorted out normal. No restraints. Your tiers 2 and 3 get to go in different groups. So they have a schedule where, like, specifically tier 2 gets to go out. No restraints.
Now, this person made their way to the top of the cages. And what happens then? Is it like an alarm? Do people say, like, hey, hello, control?
They try and de-escalate it first.
Oof.
And then it kind of becomes a non-emergency emergency.
That's similar to California,
Yeah,
when it should be an emergency right off the top.
right. Yep.
So when you say de-escalate, they're like, hey, Billy, come down here.
Yes.
And Billy's like, I'm not coming down here.
Yes.
Yes, Billy, please come down here.
Yep.
And how long can a duration like this last?
I want to say that they try and conduct that in as little time as they possibly can. So, it varies. Depends on, in that specific situation, I want to say they probably try to de-escalate it in a good 10, 15 minutes.
You mentioned an escape attempt from the death row inmate?
Yes.
What was that about?
So that was one of the days that I had no staff in that unit. And there were 2 emergencies that were being cleared. So with that, again, I had no staff. And there were several occasions where, you call up to the control, and control tries to get clearance from your ASC, and ASC says, hold off. So as there's movements going on, especially when it comes to your A block, which is your GP unit, they get out to the rec yard and the ball field. So with that, they can't conduct death row with A block. So you have to wait for clearance. And it was a long period of time for clearance to be made before we could escort that death row inmate back. And they got tired of waiting. So they tried to climb up the fence.
Who tried to climb up the fence?
Death row. It was just one inmate.
And what's at the top of the fence? Concertina wire, razor wire, barbed wire?
Not barbed wire.
And what happened? What happened as he's climbing up the fence?
Nothing at all. I want to say, stopped and then was escorted. So,
do you guys have gun towers there?
no.
In the whole entire prison, there's no gun towers.
In the yard is what we call it. They have gun towers.
And what kind of weapon system do they have up there?
Your normal. Your shotgun.
Did you ever work a gun post?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I stayed at maximum for the 2 years that I was employed. So with that, the only person that has the ability to have a weapon is our control center. And unless we're conducting like a transport, that's about the only time.
How often do transports go out there?
Quite a few. There would be at least an emergency to the hospital like once a night, maybe twice a night.
And what happens? An ambulance comes into the institution and picks them up?
Yep. And then we have 2 to 3 that go.
2 to 3 staff members?
Yes.
Armed or not armed?
Only one is armed.
What ended up happening? You said you started to get retaliated against?
Yes.
How did that play out?
Obviously not good.
I know, but like, how did it begin? What was some of the process that they put you through?
So I got retaliated every time I brought up any type of like medical or a PREA. In terms of like retaliation, there was a lot of times like when we would do bidding, I would like court ordered. I was supposed to be on day shift, but I would get denied every time. So I would do nights. But then there would be officers that would be more liked, that would be able to switch.
Male or female?
Female.
No way.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of females there?
Not a lot. I'd say probably at least 5.
Did they have
8.
more time than you working there?
Just a little bit.
But they were being favored
I want to say.
over you?
Yeah.
By who? By the supervisor?
By the captain.
What is the rank system in the Idaho Department of Corrections?
So we have a captain, and then you have a lieutenant and a sergeant on shift. You have a deputy warden and a warden. And that's the system.
And what are the regular officers called at the bottom?
We're just officers.
The officer, sergeant, lieutenant, captain.
Mm-hmm.
And these females were officers.
They were
who
officers.
were they getting preferential treatment from?
I'd say the captain. The captain. Unless you knew the lieutenant really well, depending on what shift, then you had a little bit better chance of getting whatever you're asking for.
Now, are there some better spots or days or shifts that are better than others? Like, what would be a pristine spot?
I'd say probably your 8 card.
What is
8
that?
days. And that was Sunday through Wednesday. And from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yep.
So holy shit. Wait a minute. There are 12-hour shifts in Idaho?
We're 12-hour shifts.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So, holy shit, 12-hour shifts. How many days are you allowed to work in a row?
4 days.
You're allowed to work 4 12-hour shifts?
Yep.
And then what? You get given 3 days off?
Yes.
What the heck?
So with like my schedule, I was the night card on a day or on night. I was the 8 card on nights. So that was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and like every other Saturday was my shift. So I worked into Wednesday morning. If that
So
makes
what's
sense.
what was your shift? 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.?
Yes.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
What oh no, that just fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah.
because you see them in the evening and they're like winding down.
100%.
Now, all the incidents probably happen around that time.
Yep.
Ooh. What kind of shit do you deal with at that time of the night, evenings?
Your suicides.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Especially in your seg units. That happened a couple of times. There was one that happened when I first started. He hung himself in my unit. So
In your unit, did you respond?
I didn't respond because it was the day that I was coming back. So it happened the night that I wasn't
Did you know
on.
that inmate?
Yes.
Was he older or younger?
Mid.
Did he leave a note?
No.
No? He just said, fuck it, I'm checking out. Today's the day of parole.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what to do. I'll tell you what I'm going to parole.
Yeah. The biggest, I'd say, like, takeaway from that was, you look at cues and you go through the academy understanding, like, cues. So obviously an inmate that's giving away all their stuff probably would be a cue that something was going to happen. And that's what ended up happening with that
Was he a
inmate.
lifer?
Oh gosh. I don't know. That one I didn't look up.
So I'm assuming in the night shift, there's even less officers than on the day shift.
Yes.
Do you guys all stick together and work together and communicate together, or are you guys kind of just doing your own thing?
It's since like when I first started, I want to say that there was a bit more communication. Towards the end of my employment, I'd say probably less.
Less?
Yes. It was really difficult to hear. I mean, we get the play-by-play of, like, what happened that night.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, hey, this is kind of what we need to see happening, there wasn't a lot
So
of
no
that.
guidance?
No guidance.
Any leadership? Any supervisors giving you direction?
No. If I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, I want you to be completely honest.
No.
Yeah, I don't want you to sugarcoat anything.
No. So my unit sergeant started off being a corporal, wasn't a corporal for very long, and promoted to sergeant. So really not much experience.
So the blind leading the blind.
Yes.
Wow, similar to California. All right, now we're getting somewhere. What is the highest ranking official like at midnight, at nighttime, at the prison?
You would have your lieutenant.
How many?
Just one.
And how is that person? A crusty old bastard? Does he want to be left alone? Is he welcoming?
Depends, actually. There's one that I would say wanted to be closer to officers, more buddy-buddy. And then you had one that I want to say was newer to being a lieutenant and was just kind of figuring out the ropes because they also had transferred. So it was a brand new facility.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there office near you guys?
No, you have to go up. You have to move out of your unit and go up through the control.
What about the sergeants on the facility? Are they there?
Only on days. They would work.
What the hell? There's no sergeant in the evening?
No.
How? Why?
Monday through Friday. That's their schedule.
What? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I don't understand.
No. When I first started, I want to say that there were at least a couple sergeants that would do like overtime, but that was it.
And they could do that?
Yes.
But they doing overtime as a sergeant or as an officer? Can the sergeant do overtime as an officer?
Yes.
They could?
Yes, they could. So even like we were talking about rank, we do also have a corporal. It's kind of like your middleman of who you're supposed to report to. When I first started, they had corporals on both day shift and night shift. And then when we kind of went through a different schedule change, we went to like no corporals on nights. There would be like maybe one or two. And mainly for the purpose of in case the sergeant ever called out for ASC to like run shift, that corporal was able to run shift.
At your prison, What is the longest time an employee had working on the job?
Oh, there's like work-wise, or as in like how long have they worked at that facility, like for employment? Because there's, I want to say there's like corporals and sergeants that have been there probably for like 20, 25 years.
20, 25 years.
Yes.
At that facility.
I want to say I can say one sergeant has been at that specific.
No. I guess what I am asking is, what is the highest level of experience total among some of these employees, which you just said 25, 20 years?
Yes.
Now, is that a wobbler, or is that the consistent? Is that the average?
No, that is not the average. I want to say, like you said, is the blind leading the blind. Experience-wise, like in terms of seniority, there's probably a lieutenant that's only been a lieutenant for like 4 years in terms of experience, and have been like maybe with the department for 8 years.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, in your humble opinion, from your perspective, is it only sheer luck that something fucking drastic and major hasn't happened?
Oh, no, there has been
Like what?
an incident. So it was during my shift. We had an escape inmate.
Where did he escape to? He left the whole prison?
No. So he fabricated a medical emergency,
Okay.
which then we had to conduct a medical transport to the hospital, and he escaped the hospital.
How? He just took off running?
No, he had another ex-inmate show up with guns. They shot about three officers. Yeah. We had an actual...
You were working?
Yes.
What city was this in?
This is,
What prison?
Boise. It was Idaho maximum security. Yeah.
In 2024?
Yes.
Inmate Skylar Mead?
Yes.
In March 2024, a violent incident occurred at a Boise hospital where inmate Skylar Mead was being treated. His accomplice, Nickel Uppenhauer, ambushed Idaho Department of Correction officers, shooting two as Mead escaped during the coordinated attack. These were the Aryan Knights.
Yes.
Holy shit, man. What was the result of that? What was the end result? Who died?
Nobody died. Nobody died. Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like weird, like sheer luck? Nobody died.
Nobody died.
Did anybody get shot?
Yes.
Who?
So my partner, who I worked with in my unit, got shot. And then I had another officer that was he was a floater.
Did any of the bad guys get shot?
No.
No.
No, it was like a couple days worth of they escaped, ran, were on the run, shot and murdered. It's another city in Idaho.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even hear about this in the news over here.
Yeah.
Wait, do you know the circumstances of that day? Because I don't want to read it off the thing. I'd rather you just tell me, like, both officers were shot at the hospital?
Yes.
Do you know where they were shot in their body?
Yes.
Where?
So one was shot in the stomach area.
Does it say what type of caliber? A handgun, a rifle, or you don't know? What?
No, I don't know at the top of my head.
Shot him in the stomach.
Shot him in the stomach. And the other officer was shot in the butt area and the shoulder.
Probably as he was running away. Nah, just kidding.
And then there was a third officer that also was there, and BPD ended up shooting, and fragments went into this officer's eye.
Oh, God. Was BPD present?
BPD
So
ended up
Boise
being
Police
present.
Department was
Yes.
present.
Yes.
And here we're at the hospital. Bam, bang,
Yep.
bang, pow, bam. Good old Idaho shootout.
Yes.
Was this in the parking lot, in the waiting area, or like in the aisles of the rooms?
It was in the parking lot.
It was in the parking lot.
Yep.
Was it as soon as they arrived?
No.
When was
So the turn of events were they went into the emergency room. They conducted their requirements to release the said inmate. And within that time, he was combative, and a couple of times during treatment, and then they ended up trying to escort him back because he was released. And within that time frame, he got out of his grip, and that ex-inmate had pulled up.
I'm sure he had been there. I mean, I don't know the situation, but I'm sure he was observing all of this and
Yes.
made his move when he felt was the best time to make his move.
Yes.
And then the dude gets in a vehicle. They get in a vehicle and they drive away.
Yes.
Is there a pursuit, or is just turns into a manhunt search?
Manhunt.
And how many days did this occur for?
I want to say at least 2, 3.
And in the process, they killed somebody?
Yes.
Who did they kill?
A bystander. They needed another vehicle.
Fuck, they killed somebody for their vehicle.
Yeah.
So they killed somebody. Did they ever get captured?
They did get captured.
By who? By the U.S. Marshals?
No, local
No way.
PD.
Where'd they find them? Do you remember? Do you know?
Out in the woods. It's a very foresty area.
And then they get returned to the custody?
Yes. Into county, though.
Why?
That's their process.
Now, were you showing up to work while the manhunt was going on?
No.
Why?
I was on shift. It was my shift that it ended up happening on. So
Wait.
Yeah.
When this shootout happened at the hospital,
Yeah.
you were at work.
I was at work.
Now, did you get a call on the radio? Hey, lock everybody down?
No, so what ended up happening was my partner, him and I were working, and he was the designated emergency response guy.
Okay.
That's the teams that we have. So we were doing normal operations up until there was an emergency in B block is where that emergency happened, which was your seg unit. We heard it. Emergency response was called. He ended up leaving. And in the process, it was messy. Very messy. Medical was messy. And from that point, they ran to the hospital. So while we were still in normal operations, we still had to conduct everything. Then we were on lockdown. But during that time frame, I was hit with spice. Me and one other officer was hit with spice.
How did that transpire?
I don't know how we came across it. It's a very, I want to say a common thing in my unit specifically. And we were.
And what ended up happening?
I I had to go up to shift command, and I had to let them know that I was not feeling good. I couldn't walk. I couldn't see straight. And then they had to send us out to the hospital and to make sure we were overdosing. And then we were on lockdown at the hospital because of the manhunt.
They never returned those inmates back to your guys' institution?
No.
No?
No.
And then shortly afterwards, you stopped working there?
No, I worked for another, I want to say a year almost.
And was that an eventful year, or did anything drastic happen?
It was an eventful year.
It was, or it was not?
I would say it was.
Like, what kind of stuff happened?
There was just a lot of random schedule changing that they were doing. Less staff, more assaults, more lockdowns. And then random transfers, out-of-state transfers. There's a lot of missing pieces, I would say. In particular, you know, the control officer has to keep a log. Logbooks are messy.
Yeah.
And for that month specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like red flags.
Is that you think that's a problem plaguing the entire state, correctional Department of Corrections?
I would say so.
You think they're trying to cover up something?
I would say so.
What would be that they're trying to cover up?
Well, I have been in contact with a prior case manager.
Yeah.
And there was a situation where an ex-inmate came forward with like the cell phone and how this inmate got a cell phone and tried to report it, and it's been dismissed.
Really?
Yeah.
How did he get the cell phone?
I want to say it was probably from an officer.
So not only do you guys have limited officers, but now you guys, there's corrupt officers there?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
What do you think the motivating factor for that? Lack of pay?
I would say lack of pay.
Really?
There's been several incidents where I'm working like an 18-hour shift. So
Damn. But is that overtime?
that is overtime. When I first started, we did mandatory overtime.
Yeah.
And then it changed into you can sign up and volunteer for overtime if you wanted to. And it was opened up to all the facilities at all custody levels, which made things really messy because you had officers that would come from a different facility that didn't know how to run like the computer system to opening doors. And there were several occasions where we had hard walk eyes come out with soft walk eyes.
Dang.
So, yeah.
While you were employed, were there people quitting? Were there COs quitting?
There were quite a few.
To move on to bigger and better things, or they just didn't really feel for the job?
I want to say for better things.
Better
but
things?
I want to also say lack of leadership as well.
Was it that evident that there was lack of leadership?
Yes.
Was it that there was lack of leaders, or was it that they didn't know how to efficiently lead?
Efficiently lead.
Would you say they made worse decisions and better decisions?
Yes.
Damn. Is there anything I didn't cover that you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think one of my kind of bullet points was like how I ended up being on leave.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of, I mean, it's really shitty, but their system is based off of like a preponderance of evidence. So I don't know if California is kind of the same way.
Preponderance, yeah, more likely than not.
Yes.
51%.
Yes, 51%. And, you know, when you start looking at evidence, it can be just a whole bunch of lies. And one thing can make it substantiated in a sense. So, like in my instance, there was more like, oh, this is all made up. But they sided with the inmate.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, were you terminated or were you allowed to resign?
So with that, I felt more forced. Like I didn't have an option. And I ended up resigning in lieu. And it was so that way I could get hired on with another agency.
Right.
Which is the route that I ended up trying to take. And the way that it was, I'd say, put on was, well, if you resign in lieu, it would be cleared from your employee profile. So that way you could get a job elsewhere.
But then I think you said in your case note that they're coming after your post as well.
They are. So with that, they specified that it wouldn't come after my post certification because it's cleared from my file. But that wasn't the case. I had post contact me and saying that they will be opening up a investigation.
What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the biggest consequence to that? They just pull your post and that's it?
Yes, and then they basically air your dirty laundry in a sense.
To who?
To the public. So anyone who wants to look.
Why? It shows that this was revoked?
Yes.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah.
Dang. Do you have any like tips for any females that want to join the profession of correctional officer?
Stick to your policies. That would be the biggest thing.
That goes for males and females.
100%. But it's more so like, I would say stick to policy 100% and document everything. Men are going to do what men are going to do. So you're going to get catcalled all the time. But stay firm and consistent is the biggest thing. So
no, absolutely. I hear you. I appreciate you coming all the way over here and sharing your story. Like, no, it gives me a total like insight of how things operate over there, which is pretty much similar to here.
Yeah.
As far as poor leadership.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the end of the days, inmates are inmates.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you're either experienced or you're not, or you figure it out or you don't, or you learn the hard way.
100%.
That's not really the good place to learn the hard way.
Right. No.
So there you guys have it, folks. Another banger for you guys. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Love you. Keep pushing forward.
Unhinged mind, Hector's legend engraved. Living life raw, never been tamed. From the hood to the pen, truth and tales pen. Hector Bravo unhinged, story never ends.